Hey guys, how you doing? My name is Lena. Welcome back to another video. So today, because I'm pretending on uploading this before Halloween, I'm going to recommend you some of my favorite creepy books. Lately, well, not lately, this year I've been in the mood for creepy books, like a lot, because I realized that I have so many new, creepy books to talk about, especially lately. Let's just get started with the books. Okay, I want to start with two favorites of the channel, please. They're two classics already. But the first one is Rules for Vanishing by Kate Alice Marshall. I love this book. I think I might reread it. It's probably going to be like my third reread of it. So I really like this one, really like this one. Basically, we're going to follow Sarah, and her sister Becca went missing almost a year ago, and she basically disappeared in this mysterious forest. Now every single one of their friends receives this text message saying that if they want to see Becca again, they have to go into the road on the forest. It's just so cool, man. This book is so good, extremely underrated. Basically, they are transported into this world of nightmare. They have to go to different phases and tests. It's just great, extremely creepy. I do have to say that the ending is what I think the weakest part of it, but overall the journey is great, so highly recommend this one. The other favorite is going to be Hold Back the Tide by Melinda Salisbury. I almost say the other name again. But basically, this story is not what it seems. It starts off with our main character explaining us what is living with a murderer. Basically, she has these rules and everything kind of crumbles a little bit when she finds something on the caves right beside their village. Basically, it's just great. I don't know why, but I always picture this on the winter, it's really creepy and dark outside. I highly recommend this book. It's really not what it seems. It's even greater. I love it. If you like 30 Days of Darkness, you're going to love this book. So a really recent favorite of mine, I'm going to include it here. It's not horror, but it's definitely really creepy. There is no Antimemetics division. It's amazing. It's basically about the concept of the existence of this foundation that basically deals with these things called antimemes. And it's just this, not an artifact, but it's something that makes you forget. It kind of feeds on your memories. It's just great. There's a lot of jumping around in this book. I talk about it in my last kind of wrap-up. I loved it so much. It's really hella confusing. So careful with that. But the fact of just erasing your whole existence is just so creepy and so terrifying at times. I just love it. The tagline for this book is "Welcome to the Antimemetics division. This is not your first day." It plays with memory a lot. I just love it. It's horrifying, honestly. So highly recommend this one. Then I have here House of Holo. I read this last month, I believe, in September, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. You're basically going to follow these sisters. When they were kids, basically, the three of them actually went missing, and they came back with white hair. They were in an extremely shocked state, and since then they had this weird ability. So when one of them goes missing again, the other two go find her, and it's just super creepy. This book gets the creepy factor to another level. There's also a little bit of gore, but the creepy factor of this book, the horror factor of this book is amazing. I highly recommend this one. If you didn't like Wilder Girls, I recommend this one. I was hoping to get this book basically out of Wilder Girls, and that one disappointed me so much, so much. But this one was amazing, highly recommended. Check out House of Holo. Then another recent read of mine, I just really liked it. It's perfect for this time, especially for Halloween. This is My Heart is a Chainsaw. I just really like it. This is going to be a very polarizing book probably, because this is basically about horror films. So we're going to follow Jade. She is this super nerd obsessed with horror films, with just all horror films, and she's basically thrown into one. I understand that this might not be for everyone, but as someone who is obsessed with 80s horror films, I loved it, especially slasher films. I love slasher films, but this one was great. I love it. But if you're not into that type of book, for example, Clown in a Cornfield, you're probably not going to like this one either. But still, I thoroughly enjoyed it. So if you want to give this book a chance, I wouldn't doubt it. autoayuda. Then I have here Nightfall by Daniel Barnett. I read this one this year on recommendation of my friend Leslie at the Every Narrative. I really like this one. Basically, we're going to follow, you know, this guy in his normal life until one day the sun disappears. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that because this is super short. All the books in the Nightfall series are super short, so I'm not going to spoil anything, but the creepiness and the horror factor of this book is on another level. Like, I really need to get Lullaby, which is volume 2. This one was great. I just wish we had an audiobook of it. Like, listening to this should be like, could be amazing. Like, could be fucking amazing. I really need to check if Nightfall has an audiobook. The moment when I read this, it didn't have an audiobook, but maybe now it has. If it has an audiobook, listen to it. But if not, just read it. It's great. I highly recommend this one. Then I want to quickly mention Ring Shout by Jelly Clark. This is about killing members of the Ku Klux Klan. That's it. That's all you're going to get. Historical fiction horror. This book is amazing. Then I want to mention super quickly Small Spaces. I read the first one in January, then I binge read basically the whole series that is out. I just really liked it. Basically, in the first one, we're going to follow Stevie, and she takes this excursion with the rest of the class, and they are basically left in the middle of nowhere with, you know, a creepy man following them. It's just amazing. Literally is set on kind of Halloween, so I will highly recommend you check it out. Oh my god, the Smiley Man is kind of terrifying. I love the first book. I wasn't a huge fan of the third one, though the second one is still good. You can read them in winter too, which is great. But the first one, Small Spaces, is amazing. I highly recommend this one. It's a middle grade horror book. Super good. Before I forget, The Fisherman. It was recommended by one of you. Thank you. Thank you again. I loved it. We basically follow this man and his like usual normal life. And one day he is basically told by one of his co-workers that there's this kind of pond, lake hidden in the mountains, and that he definitely should go there. So many wrong things happen there. It's a story that jumps back and forward a little bit, especially in the middle. So careful if you don't like that, but I love it. The final part of this book was great. There's a lot of creepy mystery going on. It's amazing. I loved it. I really need to get my hands on a physical copy of it. God damn it. I think I might ask for one for my birthday. Probably. But yeah, I love this one. I still think about this book a lot, actually, and I read it a couple of months ago, and I still really think about it. Like, it's just so good. It's basically about people dealing with grief. Amazing. Then I need to include Vita Nostra, because holy shit, this book is creepy. Even though it's not horror, it's so creepy and so sad. Basically, you're going to follow this girl, and one day a stranger comes near her, and he's just like, hey, you're going to go swim in the ocean at this hour. And she's just like, what the hell? She basically goes and does that, and when she goes back home, she starts throwing up coins, like golden coins. And this is basically the entrance to this really weird college, basically. And I'm not going to say magic, because it's not really magic, but it's really weird. If you just like something leaning more towards the magicians, you're probably going to really like Vita Nostra, but it's really, really like sad and moody and really atmospheric. It's just, this book is insane. I loved it. It's one of my favorite books of all time. Vita Nostra is amazing. It surprised me a lot last year, but I think I might reread it this month, actually. Then also two new additions that I read last month. So The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. I really like this. I read this month and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's also horror historical fiction. You basically follow Emmanuelle, and she is like a very devoted girl until she is basically tempted with the dark side. Yeah, She could be Anakin Skywalker, probably. But there's, of course, witches involved. I really liked it. The ending felt a little bit rushed. I said this on my review, but overall, I really liked it. It's really, really like creepy, scary. So it's perfect for this time of the year. It reminded me a lot also to the game The Dark Pictures, but the second one, I don't know what it's called. The first one is Man of Medan, and the third one is House of Ashes. But what is the second one called? Well, the second one in the anthology. It reminded me a lot of that, but yeah, I highly recommend this one. It's thoroughly enjoyable. So yeah, perfect for Halloween night. And the last one that I have here is The Liar of Red Valley. I thoroughly enjoyed this book last month. It was amazing. Not that in the horror side, but mostly in like the really creepy, mysterious way. We have this river that you do not cross because you get into the dangerous part of the Red Valley where all the kind of monsters live. It's just great. You do not cross the river because in the river there are creatures. It's just amazing. Basically, we're going to follow Sadie, and she's the daughter of the liar. She basically grants people wishes, but in exchange of like a truth. It's very complicated to explain if you have not read it, but there's this secret going on, and after her mother dies, she is basically tasked with being the liar, and it's just amazing. I highly recommend this book, honestly. It's just perfect for October, November when it's dark outside. Highly recommend The Liar of Red Valley. But yeah, basically those are all the recommendations. I do have a few more, but I think we're good with this. Like there's some new additions, some classics here. Well, classics for my channel because I just love Rules for Vanishing. Honestly, I think I should reread like Rules for Vanishing, House of Holo, Hold Back the Tide, and The Liar of Red Valley because they all give me like the same vibe. So I should probably just reread those ones and find out my favorite. But for now, it's Rules for Vanishing because I just love that book so much. But yeah, do you have like a special book that you'll read in October, Halloween, November when it's also always like just like more moody, dark outside? Because I just love that type of really creepy book. Please, if you have any recommendation, just leave them down below. Also, if you have read any of these, just please let me know if you like them or if you hate them because I just love to argue. But that's going to be all for today. So, as always, I will see you in the next one. Bye!